Sean, what's up, dude? Hey, I don't know if you remember. Do you know we met in person before?
Yeah, where?
So it was actually in New Orleans. We were at a bare-knuckle boxing
Oh,
fight together, which
nice.
I think was sponsored by Lions Not Sheep.
Yeah, we sponsored him.
I was down there networking with a couple guys, and you just happened to be there randomly. And I think we were walking out of the fight. I was like, "Hey, brother, we got to connect sometime," and that was it. But yeah, we've
Good old
met
days,
before.
man. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was like 2023 or 2024, something like that.
That would have been 2022 or 3. Yeah, we
Yeah.
sponsored the very first year of the BKFC. We were one of the main sponsors for their first inaugural year. It was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That was actually the only combat sport I've attended in person. I'm a diehard UFC fan, but
Yeah.
I live on the East Coast and most of the fights are in Vegas, so it's hard to get to one. But
Dude, David Feldman has blown that thing up, dude. The BKFC is going to be massive. He'll exit
Yeah.
that for 10 figures for sure, but it's crazy because Connor came in the year after. We were kind of the guinea pig. We were like one of the first sponsors that they had, and I don't regret missing many investments, but I had an opportunity to invest in it, and I'm like, fuck. And it was literally the year before. Then Connor came in, and I was like, damn it. I knew I should have done it.
so
It was
close.
just bad. It was bad timing for me. It was
Yeah.
kind of business was going crazy, but yeah, their BKFC's badass, man.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, it was quite an experience. And getting hit with a bare fist is definitely a lot more violent than people realize. It's no joke, man. If you're into combat
Yeah.
sports, it's pretty insane.
I love it. I love fighting, but
Yeah, you fought. I mean, I know you fought before professionally.
yeah.
But yeah, it's something that I think most guys talk a lot about wanting to do, but getting in the ring is a whole different story.
Dude, I think every guy should. I was telling somebody the other day that I think it should be a prerequisite for every kid when he turns 16, get his driver's license, he's got to get in a fist fight. I mean, it's like, I'm surprised how many grown-ass men, I mean, dude, everybody had a little pushing match on the playground, but like how many grown men have never been punched in the face? And it's wild because the mentality of it, this is what guys don't understand. It's like you listen to Mike Tyson talk about how he would become like, he was the most feared man on planet Earth, and he would become like ill because it's so terrifying. I think what makes fighting cool is you don't really have to anticipate anything when you bump into a dude at the gas station. It's like bing, 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 done. But when you're thinking as you're training, or like, I mean, for me, when I had my MMA fights, I'm sitting in the back, you hear the crowd, there's all these other fights going, you're getting your hands wrapped. They're like, it's time to start rapping, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why the fuck am I doing this? But when you lock two dudes in a cage, and really there's very few rules. It's like whose body, mind, or spirit is going to break first. To me, that's as primal as you get. It just goes old school like gladiators. It's the truest test of a man's resolve, of his willingness to like go past pain. I think every guy should do it. I think it's the most liberating, empowering, inspiring thing. It's also very practical, you know what I mean? But from a mental standpoint, it's biblical.
I think the coolest part too is what happens after. You know, your level of respect for the person you were engaged with is insane. You know, even fights I've been in as a kid or as a young man, like after you slug it out, like even if you hate the dude, like you still have that like, hey, I respect you a lot more now. You were willing to get after it.
Oh, dude, I was raised on the East Coast, just outside of DC, and I'll never forget one of the first fights I ever got. It was with my neighbor, like literally the neighbor kid. We were all homies. I mean, I'm old school, like rode bikes around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had the phone with the cord. I mean, I'm a little bit older, but like we got into this fight, and both of our dads came out. Like it was a big scuffle in the street, and both of our dads were standing on the front porch. I'll never forget it. We're slugging it out. We're doing our thing, you know, pushing and pulling the whole thing, and I remember there was like that moment where we like stopped and we looked over, and both of our dads, Jim, his name was Jim, his neighbor fucking Jim, I could see it. My dad's over here, his dad's over there. And it was one of those things where like we both started to walk towards our house, and our dads were both like, dude, shake it out. You know, you go over, you're like, hey man, you kind of give them the love, and then you go inside, and then the next day you're fucking playing out on the street. You know?
Exactly. It's a phase that every young man young boy definitely needs to go through. I was just having a conversation with my oldest son. He's 11. And he wrestles. All the boys come to my house. They're wrestling in the basement. They're having tag team matches and stuff. I was like, dude, you need to get into wrestling for real.
Yeah.
Like, you need to jump in full force. These team sports and these like basement wrestling events that you guys are doing, like you need to get after it for real. Like, I think that's something that my dad had me wrestling since I was a little kid, and I wrestled, all the way through high school. And it's just like there's something about that experience. It changes you chemically.
Totally agree. Yeah, my son wrestled. I wrestled my freshman year of high school, and then played football and baseball. I was a way better baseball player, but my son wrestled his junior and senior year of high school, and there was nothing more fun for me as a dad than going and watching. And I loved when he went into the deep waters. Third period, and you just see him, and you're just watching. And this as a dad, man, you're watching your kid, and you're like, you want to be in there doing it with them, but you're like trying to will like the guts out of them. You're like, dude, this is a moment you'll never forget. Like, this is a moment that will literally shape your future. And one of my favorite pictures of my son is him. He's got his hands on his hips, and it was the end of the third period. He's got his ears on, and he's got blood, and he bloodied up his lip, and he's got blood like pouring down his chin, and he just has that look like, I just went to war. And dude, I somehow I captured that picture, and it's just like one of my favorites ever,
I love that. I wanted to talk to you about fatherhood. That was one of the things that was really on my heart to bring up with you today. You've become a grandfather though recently,
Grandpa.
which is crazy. You're like, you might be the most ripped grandpa on Instagram.
It's funny. I have like 600 domains. I just have ideas. Like, I'm in the bathtub, and I bought, was it Grandpa Fitness or Granddad Fitness or something like that? I was like, I got to do something with this. But yeah, little Teddy he just turned 1. So
that's incredible. Grandson. How's fatherhood right now for you in today's world? I mean, it's there's all sorts of craziness. There's, 10 years ago, we looked at a totally different landscape. What are your core philosophies right now that you're focused on with your kids?
Oh man, that's a really good question. You caught me at an interesting time in my life. I had a really spiritual, I have a 23-year-old daughter who's married, a 19-year-old son who's out in California working, and then my 16-year-old, he's a junior in high school. And I had this, I don't want to say like epiphany, but I had this like epiphany about 6 months ago. And I realized like, it just came to me, and this isn't like a morbid conversation, but I was like, my kids don't need me anymore. And it was like that thought came into my brain, like, my kids don't need me anymore. And it was like, fuck, like, my daughter's married. She has a man now. My son is out cutting his teeth, doing his thing. And my youngest boy, like, he's a stud. And I shared this with somebody the other day, and they're like, no, your kids always need you. I'm like, yeah, that's not my point. My point is, like, when I step back and look at morals, independence, virtue, honor, integrity, all 3 of my kids are as well versed and as set there as I could have ever hoped for as a dad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to like steer my kids to have them understand what capitalism is or what lying is about or whatever else. Like, they're already there. And it was really interesting because for me personally, I've kind of stepped back. I'm like, all right, well, now what? Now what the fuck do I do with my life? Like, I want to live to be 500 years old, so Elon, come up with a pill or something. But like, it shifted everything for me. Like, I'm friends with my daughter now. I'm friends with my sons. And like, the conversation with my 19-year-old, like, literally, we were just on the phone right before this because I'm buying some real estate investment properties, and he wants to buy one too. So we're talking about the numbers and things, and it's shifted. But I think right now there's guys our age. I think we see things in a lot different than we did years ago. You know what I mean? You realize the importance of it. Like, I've made great money. You've made great money. But is there anything more valuable and important than the role of a father. And I always had one desire as a dad. I said, I want my kids to have faith and believe in God and all these other things, but I was like, I want my kids to be fiercely independent. It's like if I could have one attribute and one virtue to where they could go into the world and not need a job, but they could be a producer. Like they could create their own world. That's always been my number one goal. That was like my one objective as a dad, is raise independent children to be able to go out and create their own world. And I can truly say that all three of them are there. And there's really not a whole lot I'm more proud of than looking at my three kids and seeing who they are, what they are morally, spiritually, in every level.
Yeah, the importance of the father relationship is a topic I've thought about recently a lot, because what's the most famous relationship in the history of mankind? It's God and Jesus, right? Him sending his son to die for our sins. So if that's the most famous and most impactful event in human history, I'd say that the father relationship clearly has weight in terms of the level of importance. 100%. You know, I think people I'd love to hear what you think about this, but society is just determined to bring that importance down. And it's mind-blowing to me, because you see the effects of fathers who are not present, of fathers who are not active, and it all leads to chaos. It all leads to pain and suffering, starting from religion all the way down to the homes that we're in. Why is society determined? Do you think it's society, or do you think it's evil behind the societal actions that we're seeing?
The conversation around society is interesting because we are society. Like you are society. I am society. You and I are players in this game. We're pieces of the game. And so when people are like, society's fucked, it's like, well, that means we're fucked. So is that really true? Because if I'm a contributing member of the society and you are too, and we say that, you know, the blanket statement is that it's all fucked, then we're fucked. And I don't believe that. So I look at like our culture and where things are and what's happening, and there's no doubt in my mind right now that this isn't a Republican Democrat conversation. This is a good and evil conversation, straight up. It's just light and dark. That's it. I believe in God. I have a deep connection with God. What's happening in our culture and our society right now, it's just light and dark. It's, if I'm the devil, if I'm the adversary, what do I want? I want chaos. I want madness. I want death. I want suicide. I want pain. I want suffering. That's what the adversary is known for. I mean, that's his role in the freaking game, right? And so when you look around, is there more male suicide than ever before? Yes. Do we have more fatherless homes? Yes. Do we have more of every negative? Yes. And that's not a negative thing to say. That's just what the truth is. And so I look at it from the perspective of, if I'm the adversary, what do I want? I want the most amount of chaos possible. I want to divide people. I want people to hurt. I want people to be in pain. And how can I best do that? You know, I'm going to cause your favorite football team to lose. All right, you're going to be pissed off for a second, and tomorrow you're fine. But what if I could tear your family apart? Like, what if I can erode the morals of society and have porn become, and I could take, you know, as the good book says, good becomes bad and bad becomes good. What if I can normalize pedophilia? What if I can normalize this, you know, men being women and women being men? What if I can normalize all that shit? Then it just creates chaos. And I think right now there has never been, and we could go down the rabbit hole in this answer, like in just this whole topic. I don't think there's ever been a more important time for men to step into being men, because at the end of the day, as the good book says, by their fruits you shall know them. I mean, my children are a direct reflection of me, period. Like, I don't pass that buck. It's not on the church. It's not on school. It was never on school to teach my kids economics. I never put that job there. I never put the job of them learning to pray. I never put the job of them, you know, having morals and virtue and integrity and honor on anybody other than me. And so I look at it now, you know, looking across our culture and our society, make men not men. Make men like us that have muscles and discipline, make us, you know, narcissists. Call us narcissists because we take our shirt off. I mean, we're not that too far removed from societies and cultures that built statues to guys that look like us. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah. Men used to have a longing and a desire for a noble death. Men wanted to die nobly. That was their goal. Like, they wanted to die in the heat of battle. They wanted to go out as a hero nobly. And now we got guys who don't know how they identify. We got guys that literally like pretend they're fucking cats. We got guys that are morbidly obese, addicted to porn, addicted to drugs, that play fucking video games for 6 or 7, 8 hours a day. So the devil's absolutely winning. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to, which is why I think right now, more than ever, guys like you, guys like me, standing and shining, standing and like being the standard, being the example. I think number one, that's why we catch so much shit. Number two, I think that's why there's such an attack on men, being men. Because if men were able to rise, you look at every culture, every society, Greeks, Romans, you know, Genghis Khan, go through every single civilization. When there are powerful men at the helm, the culture and the society thrives. But when you get Sodom and Gomorrah and all of this other shit, it crumbles. And I really feel like right now, if I'm the devil, I'm executing my plan perfectly. Make good bad and bad good. And introduce this social media technology thing to where now I can infiltrate every human being's brain all the way down to kids. Because when you and I were kids, I mean, we had Nintendo. And that was like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Slide that bitch in there and get it just right to get it to work. And now kids are consuming hours and hours and hours of programming every single day. You know what I'm saying? So this is where a lot of men talk to me about, well, my kids look at their TVs or they're on their screens all day. And I'm like, take that fucking phone. Yeah, but they get mad. I don't give a fuck. Who's running the show? You or them?
Yep.
My kids get mad all the time. My kid was mad at me the other day. My 16-year-old, he skipped a couple classes. I was like, yo, no girls, no going out for 30 days, period, end of story. Yeah, but, and he got all mad and pissed off. I'm like, I'm running the show until you're 18, bud. Period, end of story. You want to run away? I'll find your ass and I'll drag your ass back home. That's being a dad. Sean, that's whatever. Fuck you. That's how I operate. You know what I'm saying? And that might sound weird and crazy, but I think this is where the real call for men is to stand up and to execute discipline, to lead. And yeah, man, I could, this is something I'm really passionate about because as a dad, as a father, as a leader, as a patriarch, like I'm watching it in my own life. I'm watching the adversary try and destroy me every step of the way for a very good reason, because I am powerful, because I am a leader, because I have been able to share my voice through this Chinese plastic phone and reach millions and millions and millions of people. Same thing with you. So yeah, man, it's an interesting time for sure.
Yeah, my head goes to how do I prepare my boys for what's coming? You know what I mean? Like we talk about these rites of passage, talk about, you know, coming of age moments for boys. I have two boys that are 18 months apart. You know, they're soon to be 12 and 10 this year. And dude, I see them changing rapidly. Like it's like the, you know, the movies where the alien starts to like grow like instantly. You're like, whoa, this thing is like taking off, dude. This thing's going to be grown man in about a blink of an eye. How do I take my own growth that's continuing to happen as a man and help prepare these dudes for what's to come? Because even their world is 100 times different than mine. I didn't have a cable TV till I was out of college. Right. I mean, YouTube was not a thing until I was well into my adult years. You know, I didn't hear about politics 24/7, 365 being fed lies and truth. You don't know what it is anymore until I was, you know, a grown man. So if you could go back in time, or if you're in that type of shoe where, hey, we got younger kids that we're trying to prepare, and obviously you're junior in high school, still a young man. How do we prepare them for what's ahead? What are the key things we need to do?
So I picked up my phone as you're asking me that because I want to show you, like real time, the answer to that question. This is my 19-year-old son, and that's him texting me a picture from the gym, workout number 2. And a couple of days prior to that, he sent me another one, same kind of a thing, from the gym, working out. I'll be super straight, like very, very straightforward with this answer. I am the example, period. Like, I am the example. How I operate with my boys, my children, is what's in my heart and what's in my mind. And if I'm aligned with God, then God is speaking to me. And if God says, go whoop their ass, I'm going to whoop their ass. And if God says, discipline, love, hug, share, do this, I follow the promptings from God. So my relationship with him is paramount above everything else, because I know that my job and my duty as a man, as a father, as a patriarch, is to walk. And as long as I'm walking and I'm following the dictates of my heart, my soul, my God, I know that I'm impressing upon them that same reality. And anybody who's followed me for any period of time, they've seen my kids at every one of my events. They've seen my kids like on stage doing Q&As, like, you know, being part of everything that I'm doing. They've been part of the, you know, Lions Not Sheep and the brand and the whole thing. And I realized years and years and years ago when I became a dad, I was like, I didn't want to be like a work dad and then a home dad, and I don't want to be like husband and then CEO. Like, I'm Sean Whalen, period. I am me. I didn't want to create these characters and these things. It's like, I joke with people because anybody who meets me, they're like, yeah, you're kind of the same person online as you are real life. I'm like, yeah, I'm the same asshole here as I am. I say the same shit. Like, I don't create a character. And I think what's absolutely imperative for men to understand is that we are the example, period, in every way. How I operate, how I think, how I talk. My son he's 19, dude. When I was 19, I was a fucking idiot.
Same.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing with my life. My son follows Tony Robbins and reads and sends me scriptures and quotes and shit like that. Like almost literally, I mean, sends me, this is my same son, you know, whatever, sending me pictures of books and things like that. Like, we're talking about business. And I think that the thing that's really difficult for men right now is truly stepping into who the hell they really are and owning that space, because you've got so much influence and, you know, so many things going on outside of the world and outside of the home that are infiltrating the home. And men don't, I mean, just straight up, men don't want to be labeled this or labeled that or labeled whatever, right? I don't give a fuck about the labels. I give a fuck about raising my children. And at the end of the day, what I have come to understand is, you know, how I do my job as a dad and as a man is between me and God. And I think what's really, really, really imperative right now is I also want my kids to feel that same way. I wanted my daughter to pick a husband and turn to God and be led by God to pick her mate. You know what I mean? Like, I want my son praying and asking God what to do, where to go, where he's supposed to be, and following the dictates and the promptings of his heart, not dad's plan, not my plan. And I can say confidently that all three of my kids are in that space. But man, it's such an interesting time because men have relinquished their job. And I know that this is a blanketed statement, but look around. Men are not men anymore. And we hear that and say, what does that mean? And people instantly think like, oh, I'm masculine, man, whatever. And I'm like, you don't get it, man. Like, God is talking to me every day. He's telling me what to do, where to go. And that might not be where everybody else is going. Hence, Lions Not Sheep. And what men are doing, in my opinion, the vast majority of men, is we're just following what the path of least resistance is and where everybody else is going. And if that's your jam, that's your jam. We can't all be lions. There has to be some food. We got to eat. And that's just the way it works. But I really feel as strongly about this as I've ever felt, that like it's up to a man to decide where he takes his family, where he goes, but it's also up to him to decide where he goes. And a double-minded man, as the scriptures say, you know, is unstable in his ways. And I don't think there's ever been a more crucial time right now for men to step out of the matrix for a second and figure out what the fuck they really are, who they are, what they're doing. Like, why am I really here? Like, why is Sean Whalen, why is Josiah, like, why are you here? It's not to just make money and pay bills and make sure your kids don't turn out to be heroin addicts. Like, I'm here on this rock, you're here on this rock for a reason. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. And man, I can't think of anything more powerful than you and me and millions of other men coming together and creating literally an army of goodness, an army of light, an army of like men who understand what we're talking about. Like, I mean, I have so many cool stories about my son and like kind of the chip off the old block and the whole thing, but I know I've had 5 professional MMA fights. My son got in trouble in school for running a fight club. I know the first rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. I got called to the principal's office his junior year. He's playing football. The principal was telling me they were hazing some kid, and they threw all this stuff out of the locker onto the floor. It was like the football hazing thing. And right before we were leaving, he's like, Mr. Whalen, we need to tell you something. I said, what? He's like, were you aware of the fight club that William was running? And I'm like, say what? I kind of got up on the edge of my chair. I was like, tell me more. And you could see my son was like, oh, shit. And the funny thing is, him and his buddies, after school, they would go over to this other kid's house. They would throw gloves on, and they would fight.
Yeah.
And we're leaving, we're walking out, and I put my arm around him, and I'm like, he's like, I know, Dad, I know. You didn't even have to have a conversation. I was like, the only thing I'm mad about is that you didn't tell me, because I want to fucking come. I'm like, bro, I'll bring Court McGee. I'll bring 4 or 5 guys from the UFC, my buddies. Like, let me teach you guys how to be real fucking killers.
Exactly.
And we laughed, but like, that's me. That's my job. That's my duty. Like, people think that I'm just doing this shit online for show. Like, I love this game. I love making millions. I love getting my dick knocked in the dirt. I love being out there. I jumped on a bull 6 months ago. Why? Because it fucking was terrifying. My son was standing there watching me. He comes up to me right before, he's like, Dad, are you scared? I was like, hell yeah. I literally looked at him and said, hell yeah. I grabbed him. I gave him a big kiss. I got on a fucking 1,850-pound bull, got my shit thrown off in 2 seconds, and my son watched the whole thing. Like, that's a moment where he's going to be like, my dad was either a sociopath and a lunatic, or he had giant fucking huevos, or maybe both.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I am the example. You are the example for your children, period.
We used to do Fight Club like it was normal growing up. You know, we recorded too. We had the big handheld cameras. You'd be in school the next week, like gloves. Exactly, like so and so lost to so and so.
I was like, you guys are doing it right.
That's amazing. No, I mean that's what young boys should be doing. Versus,
but they're not doing it because Dad's not doing it.
Yes,
and that's my point.
Yeah,
is that one of the things that I'm radically passionate about, and I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more. Like, don't just tell your kids, show them. You can't tell your kids how to eat healthy and be in shape. Show them. That's why my son sends me those pictures, and I love it because he sees me posting it online. That's my dad. Like, my dad's online with millions of followers, and he watches me do that. But like, you can't keep telling your kids how to build wealth, how to get excited, how to pray to God. You can't keep you got to show them. My children watch me pray over every meal. My children watch me kneel and pray at night. Like, we do this, and it's not for show. This is how I operate. And you spend enough time with a child, and they will follow you. So if you're a fat, lazy fuck, if you're undisciplined, if you're looking at porn, if you're jerking off, if you're not motivated, not excited, not passionate, that's exactly how your kids are going to turn out.
Yeah. I think it starts with fitness.
Totally.
That's the lowest hanging fruit. It's the lowest hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Like, you got your son. I mean, that's my dream. I want my son to send me freaking gym selfies, dude. Like, that's my dream as a fitness guy. You know, I want my son. I found out the other day, my wife was like, hey, don't tell him I told you, but your oldest has been sneaking down to, you know, we have a gym in the basement. He's allowed to go down. He doesn't have to sneak down there, but she's like, yeah, he's been doing workouts. He told me he's been doing workouts after school. You know, while you're on meetings, he's down there working out, and he's making a protein shake. And he was like, he didn't want you to be mad. I was like, you know how happy I am right now? I was like, and I don't even need to tell him that I know. I was just like, I'm so proud. Like, that's everything.
53 minutes ago, I posted this on Instagram, and I said the same thing. Here's a little hack for you fellas. Buying a Lambo, making $1 million a year is way easier than building and maintaining a six-pack. So perhaps the next level of every aspect of your life, business and success, is found after you turn your body into a Greek statue. You and I know this. We both know this. Like, that's the one thing the market can't touch, the president can't touch, the fucking Jews can't touch, the Israelis can't touch, nobody can touch. It's you versus you, period. End of story. That's why I'm with you 1,000%. Watch a man build a Greek statue, and that's a man that can fucking do anything.
100%. I could work around the clock on my business. That's easy because I love it, and it's just in my DNA. It's fine. Training and nutrition and being active takes commitment. It takes a different level of commitment.
100%.
You know, there's a lot of ways to make a lot of money. There's really only one way to look like a Greek god. There's really only one way.
You can't buy it.
No.
You can't buy it. That's the one thing you can't buy, man. You can buy, I literally just posted this, and you know this, and this is your space. Like, if all it took was a needle in the ass, there'd be a 600-mile long line of guys ready for a needle in their ass. Oh, wait,
I'd be out of business.
Like Sean, I can look like you, like just with a needle, done, take my money.
Yep.
It doesn't work like that. And so that's where the stories and the things and, you know, everything, just that level of commitment and discipline to not just build a six-pack, but to keep it. Very few men, I think the statistics actually, I looked it up the other day, less than 3% of men on planet Earth have visible abs.
Correct. And it's probably getting lower by the day, to be honest.
I don't doubt it.
Even with all the new, peptides and hormonal support, you and I run the same path with that. You know, I utilize those things because I'm putting rocket fuel in a body that I take really good care of, right? Why wouldn't you? I want to talk about that though, because a lot of guys immediately jump into, oh, well, that's why Sean looks that way. You know, that's why, I mean, because you have a physique that you could just be a full fitness guy, right? Like, I mean, you have the six pack, you have muscle, you have, and you're older guy, right? Like all the guys I talk to and work with, that's what they want. But they're like, well, he looks like that because he takes peptides, he takes retitrut, whatever. I don't know exactly what you're taking, but like it's TRT or whatever. I want to talk about that, right? Because I really think guys need to hear down to the behind the scenes level detail of like why you do what you do with your body, how all that stuff supports the efforts that you're putting in. I want to dig into the fitness side because I think guys continually need to hear this, man. Like it's one of those issues that just drives me crazy, obviously, but hearing it from you and what your routines and what you're doing with your body, I think would be very, very important.
Dude, and before we're done, like literally put me on the spot. I love being on the spot. And you got a big freaking following. I will literally go to my fridge, pull out my little container with my shit and show everybody exactly what I'm fucking taking.
Yep.
Like when I work out, man, there's a switch. And there's very few guys. I love working out with clients and they come into town or whatever else. And I don't say this to brag or boast, I say what it is. Like most men can't hang with me in a workout. They just can't. And I don't say that to be a dick because I use the same dumbbells, the same kettlebells, the same bars, the same 45-pound plate as everybody else. But there's just a switch that flipped in me years ago. And really this all started with Andy Frisella, 75 hard. I was one of the original guys to do 75 hard when he rolled it out. And that's ultimately what changed my entire life because I had done 2 Ironmans. I'd had 5 professional MMA fights. I loved fitness. I was in shape, but I never had abs. Like I had a Dad Bod. I was Captain Dad Bod. And sometimes Dad Bod was a little bigger, a little smaller. And when I did 75 hard, I went like nuts on it. Like I went hard as shit. And in 75 days, I built a 6-pack. And I had a 6-pack. And I was like, holy fuck. It was just all stories. Genetics, and he spends 5 hours in the gym. And the truth is, I just hadn't gone far enough. That's it. I had not kept my word to myself. That's why I love 75 hard. Like, hats off to Andy Frisella. Because in my opinion, it's not even a fitness program. It's a mental game. Because I can't tell you how many times it was 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and I hadn't done my 45-minute outdoor workout. And there was a war, a literal war. I'm laying on the couch. I'm like, I'm so fucking tired and da-da-da. And I would literally throw my Crocs on and I would go walk for 45 minutes. And I can tell you without question, that's what changed the game for me is I realized everything was a story in my brain. And so it was like, I know that there's more gas in the tank, but I'm not doing anything because I know that I should work out right now, but I'm tired. So I'll just double up tomorrow. And this is where I think it's so fucking simple for a man to build a Greek physique, period. It's not hard to do. It's not that your weights are the same as my weights as the same as their weights. Your chicken's the same as my chicken, your rice, your veggies. It's the same shit.
Yep.
Period. So why is it that I look like this and you look like this? It's simply because you haven't gone far enough and become absolutely obsessed with the result. I literally, I'm not joking. It's kind of funny, and I didn't post this because of the podcast. I posted a picture. This is me, just like my before and after. I said, fellas, everything is possible when you get sick of your shit and when you want more. I always told myself a six-pack was for guys with different genetics or guys who spend hours in the gym. The truth is I hadn't gone far enough. I wasn't obsessed. Fellas, become obsessed. You'll build the commitment, discipline, and obtain the knowledge when you become obsessed. And this is what I don't think very many guys understand. They go to the gym and like I am ruthless when I go into the gym. I know exactly what I'm doing before I walk into the gym.
Yep.
It's chest day. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing pop, and I'm out. But when I'm there, it's like I am a sociopath working out. And I think that's really the difference, man, is any man, and like you'll appreciate this comment because it calls everybody out. Like nobody put that shit in your mouth, bro. You did. Nobody made you eat that shit. You travel, I travel. Guess what? Every airport on planet Earth has chicken and rice.
It's even easier. It's even easier in the airport.
All of them.
Yep.
Hey, can I get 2 chicken breasts and a big bowl of rice? Sure. Broccoli, whatever. Every single place on planet Earth, there's nowhere you can't go that doesn't have protein and carbs. Healthy, period. End of story.
Yep.
And I really truly believe like it's our brain, it's our programming that just keeps us fat, broke, miserable, and it's a loop. We just repeat the same stories, which is why I've said for years, and I'm not even in the fitness space, bro. I'm 47 years old. I'm a dad. I got companies. I'm doing my thing. I don't have a fitness program. I mean, I'm working on some stuff because I'd love to get into the peptide space, whatever. But I don't have a program to sell you. And at the end of the day, like I have become obsessed with this and figured it out. And it's really not that hard to do and to execute on. The question is do you have the mindset to become a fucking savage? Period. And this is why I go back to like fighting, and this is why I go back to some of these things. It's like, how do you reprogram your brain? Because that's really what it boils. You know this. You teach this. This is your jam. When you can reprogram your brain, period. End of story. Anything's possible.
I love that you said all that. That is like, I try to tell that to guys. I mean, I do tell that to guys, but every guy who says, oh, well, my body's broken or my metabolism is not what it once was or never had the genetics for it, right? The truth is everybody has the genetics for it. Everybody. 100%. There are dudes in wheelchairs who have every excuse in the world who are sub 10% body fat because they just decide. It's up here. It's a belief that it's possible. And so many guys are so deep into the pit or whatever you want to call it, the hole they've dug, and they've been digging deeper for so many years that they've lost all self-belief. And now they're looking for the thing that I always call guys out on, but it's like, well, I don't need to be ripped, man.
Dude, I laugh my ass off. It's not about the six-pack. Fuck you, it is.
That's why
you don't have one and I do, because I know it's about the six-pack.
Replace that with something else. Well, it's not about having sex with my wife all the time. Shut up. Of course you want that. Oh, it's not about having 18 years of money in the bank and not have to work another. Of course it is.
Yep.
We wouldn't. Why do we elevate the status of all these people in the world who have those things and we admire them? Why? If you don't want it and you don't need it, why is that such a big deal? It's a huge deal. Just admit it. And then the second part is got to go further, like you said. I love that. That is the ultimate truth. Everybody goes, it's like, I'm going to travel from the DC out to see Sean in Utah, right? So, but I'm just going to stop in Chicago and that's it. Well, you're not going to meet Sean, right? It's that simple. You just have to go the whole way.
It is that simple, and I want to take it a little bit deeper because I love the mindset, and this is applicable to every guy. I was raised with a single mom. I mean, Google the story. It's fucking simple. Like, there's no silver spoon, yada, 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 busted my ass, dropped out of high school. We've all heard the story. But a number of years ago, in fact, right before I did 75 Hard, I had a client of mine who bred snakes. He's a snake breeder. He makes a lot of money breeding, he's got hundreds of snakes and the whole thing. I hated snakes. Fucking hated him. Like, find him in the yard, hit him with a shovel, no problem, right? So I'd go hang out, and I'd go down to his facility all the time, and and I'd be standing over here and, you know, do that, like, where I just, like, touch it, and I'm like, all right, cool, right? I hated snakes. But I didn't really know why. And so one day, I'm sitting here, and, like, this has kind of been my personal journey, and fellas, I mean, if you're listening to us, like, understand, this is, in my opinion, as real for every man. I don't care if you're black, white, gay, straight, fat, doesn't matter. This is the truth with every man, is that we have been so programmed and we have so much bullshit in our brains that we actually believe it. And we don't even know why we believe it. Most people don't know why they believe in God. They've never actually, like, gone on a journey. I just do because I read church and I was raised and whatever else. Like, and so I call him one day and I'm like, hey man, I want a snake. And he's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, I want a snake. And he's like, yeah, but you hate snakes. I was like, I know, that's why I want a snake. And he's like, are you high? Like, are you doing drugs again? Have you been eating some mushrooms or whatever? I'm like, no, dude, I'm sober. I want a snake. And it was the moment where I was kind of like, I didn't really know why I was doing it, but I just was like, I want to do this. I was in this season before I decided, so this was 2019. I was just in this crazy season where I was like, I was just testing everything and I wanted to figure shit out. To make a long story short, he shows up at my house with this little plastic thing, this little snake, reticulated pythons, like 12, 13 inches long, little teeny pinky mice. He's like, were you sure about this? Anyways, he's like, if you don't want it to be mean, you got to, like, play with it. I'm like, well, how the fuck do you play with a snake? Like, I got a dog. How do you fucking play with a snake? And he's like, you just got to take it out. Like, you know what I mean? Let it crawl around you, whatever else. He left, and later that day, I go in, and all of a sudden it's like real. Like, I'm not at the pet store. I can't just bring it back. I'm like, fuck, I have a snake. What the fuck am I going to do with this thing? So I pull it out, and it's like it's a little teeny guy, like slithering around. And this sounds really funny to people, but this is the God's honest truth of why it is that I've been able to build what I've been able to build over the last 7, 8, 9 years. Is this thing slithering around, and I'm standing in my kitchen, and it was one of those where I was like, and it, like, picks its head up, and it looks at me. And I'm in that, like, this is where I die. This is going to fucking kill me. And I had this crazy spiritual experience, man. I'm looking at this snake, and the snake is just looking at me. Her name is Butters, by the way. Butters is 14 feet long now and weighs 100 pounds. Fucking
Holy
awesome.
crap.
I'm looking at Butters, and Butters is looking at me. And I had this spiritual experience where I was like, kind of like, what's up, dude? Like, why am I afraid of you? And it was weird because there was an out of energy, and I could literally feel the energy of this brand new snake that had never really been held before. It was only a couple of weeks old, like looking at me going, who are you? Like, what the fuck is going on? What are we doing here? And I realized in that moment, bro, I had hated snakes for 40 years. And I had no idea why. I didn't get bit by one as a kid. I didn't get choked out. I wasn't in the Amazon and watched it eat a guy. I had no idea why I hated snakes, but I hated them. And then I got one. And since that time, like, I mean, the story with my Jordans and the whole thing, and what I want men to understand is 99% of the shit that you believe, you don't know why. I mean, I thought a six-pack was literally for a guy with different genetics or spent 4 hours in the gym. Lie. Not true. I believed that for 40 years. For 40 years, I had done 2 Ironmans, full Ironmans, across the finish line, fights, I mean, climbing mountain. I was in shape, but I'd never had a six-pack. And the story was so deep in my brain that it's for someone else. And the truth is, I had just never gone far enough. Like, I didn't know why I hated snakes. I didn't have a reason to. Probably because my parents hated snakes. And they told me, snakes, and you just are programmed with fear. And for 40 fucking years, bro, I hated snakes. And now I've got a almost 15-foot reticulated python that's like, I take her out and she climbs all over me. And I'm like, what's up, dog? And we walk around my house and it's like, it freaks people out. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, this is Butters. Like, me and Butters are homies. Like, you want to hold Butters? People are like, ah. But that's my point, is like, every fucking man, I don't care how you were raised, where you were raised, it's all a story. Everything's a story in your brain, because the new norm for me is a six-pack. You know what I mean? I don't hate snakes anymore. I never knew why. And I think this is where guys, when you start, this is why you talk about reading books and studying. And I'm like, guys, go eat some fucking mushrooms, like explore your brain, figure some shit out. Like, why do you believe what you believe? Why is it that you think you're busted? I've blown out both my knees. I had major shoulder surgery, blew out my bicep tendon. I had spine surgery. I have Raynaud's disease, 2 compressed discs, blah, blah, blah. I got my body is fucking busted up pretty hard on it. I have all the reasons to just be a fat sack of shit. And this is what I think men need to step into, is this conversation of, it doesn't matter what protein you take. It doesn't matter what chicken you eat. It doesn't matter what rice. Like, sure, there's better shit than others, but like, why do you look the way that you do? Why don't you have a six-pack? Well, I don't really care about it. You do care about it, because I know if I'm at the beach and you're at the beach and I take my shirt off and you take your shirt off, your wife's going to look at me, your girlfriend's going to look at me and be like, and that doesn't mean anything other than exactly what it means. I look good. You have soggy, saggy man tits. That's what it is. And I think this is where guys have got to go into their brain and be like, dude, why do I believe what I believe about money, about sex, about my dick, about my body, about being a parrot, about politics? Because once you go down that path, bro, the whole game changes. Everything changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they also believe it's going to be unbelievably challenging, right? They think the pain is going to be intolerable to make changes, right? Like, their belief is that the juice is not worth the squeeze, but you don't realize the squeeze is already a lie. Like, the effort is not what you think it is.
This is the same thing in money.
Yeah.
This is why most people will never break over $1 million a year, because it's the same thing. It's too much. It's too hard. I don't understand. I don't know ads. I don't know this. I don't use social media. I didn't know fuck all about fitness. Yeah. I just went to the gym and lifted weights up and down. So what I hired a retired bodybuilder, and I paid him $100 a session, 5 days a week for 90 days. He was my friend. He's like, you don't have to pay me. I was like, no, I do need to pay you, because like, I'm all in here. Yeah. Like, I'm not here to shoot the shit. And in those 90 days, I literally learned a 90-day routine from a professional bodybuilder who is preparing for the Arnold. And I have literally done the exact same 90-day rinse and repeat for fucking 7 years. And it doesn't matter if I'm at a hotel gym, if I'm at this place, if I'm at a park, I can smash my workout. And this is where I think guys, like, they're so in their brain about why and how. It is about the abs, dude, because there's no man listening to this that doesn't want to look himself in the mirror and be like, yo, I am Leonidas. Yep. Like, I am Marcus Aurelius. Like, I'm the baddest. If you're not there, bro, you got work to do. Because I look in the mirror every day and I'm like, I am the baddest motherfucker on planet Earth. Period. Yep. Sean, that's narcissistic. I don't give a fuck.
It's in our DNA, dude.
You're full of yourself. I am full of myself. Why wouldn't I be? What am I supposed to be fully? Somebody else? Some of these fat fucks, these lazy. No, I am full of myself, which is why my kids are rock stars, which is why I've got a dope ass life. And I think a lot of men are stuck in this loop: money, business, relationships, abs. And you know this because you've done it. Once you go far enough, it's just like exploring. Like, you keep climbing the mountain and you get halfway and then three-quarters, and then all of a sudden you go to the top and you're like, holy shit, there's a whole nother world over here. I didn't even know this was possible. And that's the game. Like, you break into your first $1 million year and you're like, fuck, that's a lot of zeros. And you're like, well, what about 5 million? And then you hit 5 million, you're like, it's just a game. The whole fucking thing is a game. It's like The Matrix. You know what I'm saying? I love that movie. And I love this conversation because we just go on and on and on. The red pill, blue pill, right? Like, one of my favorite scenes is like when they're downloading everything to Neo and he's like, I know jujitsu. And he's like, I know how to fly a helicopter. We're the exact same. Yeah. You and me and every man listening to this is the exact fucking same. Want to learn how to fly a helicopter? Go take lessons. That's it. Want to learn how to eat healthy? Hire you, learn the shit, do it. Want to get bigger biceps, bigger whatever? Program, do it. It's the same fucking thing. with us as it is in the Matrix.
I've had that recent conversation with myself around AI, right? I was like, man, there's a lot to learn. Like, you know, it's like moving so quickly and like there's new stuff every week. And I caught myself. I was like, man, I'm telling myself a stupid story. Why don't I just be the best fitness guy on earth when it comes to AI? Because I can just decide to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I don't need to be.
Yep.
Just got to be willing to learn. I can wake up a little earlier and go to bed a little later, whatever it takes to learn it. And a week later, I'm waking up every morning with all my busy work done for me using computers. I'm like, holy crap. I just went ahead of 99.9% of people in the world. Just with a decision, not because I'm smarter, just because of a belief system of like, you know what, if there's something I don't know, the only thing holding me back is the knowledge. So let me just go find the knowledge and then I go apply it.
Yep.
That's really it. Is that what happened with your, the artistry side of things that you're doing with, I think it's called Rico, right? Is it called Rico? What is your painting? What is your painting business?
Painting? Are you talking about like my art?
Yeah, your art. Yeah, your art.
Oh, it doesn't have a name. It's just my art.
I don't know why I thought it was Rico. I don't know where I came up with that. I just got downloaded. Somebody just downloaded it in my brain. That's completely inaccurate, but I don't know why.
I have to figure that out, where that came from. But no, I
have no idea.
SeanWhalenArt.com.
Well, I love the art. And was that something you were always good at, or was that something you just decided that you were going to be good at?
I drew as a kid, and I've collected art for a long time. And in 2024, right after my soon-to-be ex-wife filed for divorce, I was just in a headspace. And it was like, I had a buddy of mine who was a professional artist, and he's like, dude, you should start doing some art. I was like, all right, cool. So I literally drove to the paint store, to Michael's, the craft store, bought a couple canvases, bought some paint, and would just smoke cigars and like paint. And I started to like fall in love with it. Like it became an outlet for me. So it was kind of like a therapy at first, and it was like a way to just keep my mind off of like the madness and the smear campaign and the whole thing. And then all of a sudden it was like, I just kept testing it and playing it. And I watched YouTube video after YouTube video of how to layer, I literally taught myself how to do it. I started following all these artists on Instagram. It's the same blueprint that I've shared with everybody in my Lions Den for a decade of how to, learn new shit. And I just kept doing it. And I challenged myself in 2024 to do an art show because it was terrifying. And so on my birthday, 2024, December 4th, I did an art show, and I presented 27 of my paintings. And it was terrifying for me. Like, I've written a book, I've sold almost 1 million copies of my book. It's terrifying to present art because it's so subjective.
Yeah.
Right? Like, one person can look at it and be like, that's fucking dog shit. And the other person will be like, oh my God, I have to have this. I'll pay you for it. And it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And long story short, I just kept going and teaching myself and getting better and getting better. And as I started sharing it more, like it just kind of, people loved it. They were like, wait, you do art too? I'm like, yeah. So for the last 2 years, I've got a whole big studio in my basement, and
that's sick.
People started hitting me up and commissioning me to do pieces. And I've just been like, it's just, I haven't shared this publicly, but like, it's another challenge for me. So I have a goal that I want to sell $1 million worth of art this year.
Dude, the one piece you just did, the one, I think it's a Jesus theme. Yeah. You dropped it off at a friend's house. I just saw it in your stories. You were telling the story about it, right? And I don't know I was flipping through your stories. This is like totally kind of off subject, but like I was flipping through and I thought one of the stories was like the piece of art, right? Uh-huh. And it wasn't. It was like, I don't know what the picture was. And I was like, oh, it was all right. Whatever. Then you showed the piece and I was like, what? Like, hold up, dude. Like, I feel like I was like, wait a second. Maybe he's like truly a master painter or something. Cause I'm not trying to blow smoke, but it was like, I would buy that. Right. And I'm pretty picky with like, I have stuff in my office and it's like, I'm very picky, but I saw that and I was like, damn, that was sick. I mean, a lot of pieces of yours are sick, but like that one hit. I was like, oh, dude, you got something cranking here, man.
It's funny because like I'm grateful because a lot of people have said that, and I'm getting more and more requests for commissions and stuff like that. And Commissions are actually hard. I don't really like to do them very much because there's actually like a lot of stress. I feel like I have to perform. Or if I just take a blank fucking canvas, I think that's what's cool about art for me is it doesn't make any sense. It's completely illogical, yet it's very logical to me, and yet it's a 100% original creation. Like what comes out of your heart, your mind, your soul, and like that piece that I did for Eric and Shyla, she hit me up like last summer and said, you know, we're building this big ass house, and I want to do something special for Eric, and so I've spent the last 7 months doing that piece, and so many stories that go into it and the whole thing. But I think what's cool about art is it's also like, as a man, like you and I, just man, we'll go lift heavy shit and eat chicken and steak, and it's like it's a very feminine outlet. But yet at the same time, it's also very masculine. And I think a lot of guys like get kind of tripped up on some of the things. Like I've got my hand pan that I play, like my little metal hand pan. People are like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, try it. It's fucking fun, right? And it's just a dichotomy because you look at guys like you and me and fast cars and man shit and the tattoos or whatever, and it's like, this is who you are and what you are. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, I'm painting. And like, what? Like, are you good, man? Like, you have a midlife crisis? Are you gay? And I'm like, no, dude, I just love to paint. And it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it's
but
awesome.
That's why it's dope. That's why I with my coaching and what I share with guys is like, dude, you should be stretching yourself all the time and doing new shit all the time. And, you know, I found a love for it, and I found that it's subjective whether I'm good or not, but I love what I do. I love the pieces that I create. And every time I post them, like, people fucking love them. And they're like, dude, I have to have that. And I want it. And it's been weird for me.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what? Like, you want to buy this? And people pay a lot of money for art. And so now all of a sudden it's kind of a game and a challenge where I'm like, okay. One of the conversations I had with Garrett White years ago was about, you know, who do I have to become? Is we were having this conversation about buying this big ass $26 million house, and the money to buy it's easy. It's just math to buy the actual house. But it's like, who lives in a $26 million house? What do they eat? What are the routines? Like, who do I have to become? Because the guy that I am today, I don't live in a $26 million house. I live in a $2 million house. I would have to become someone radically different in order to be able to live in a $26 million house. And that just revolutionized my brain. And so now I'm looking at it saying, well, who do I have to become to make $1 million a year doing art? Okay, let's figure out who that guy has to become. And that's one of the things that I love, and you know, about the stories and the journey of just man and mankind and you and me and every guy listening to this is it's like there's literally nothing stopping me or you from doing anything. You want to become a brain surgeon, go do it. You want to learn to fly an airplane, you want to become an artist. And it's like, it's kind of cool because it throws people off. They're like, wait, what? You painted that? Like, wait, you do art too? It's like, yeah. They're like, well, what else do you do? I'm like, whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm excited about it because I legitimately think I can build a big art business, and I actually really enjoy it. I love doing it, and I love the process of it. So yeah, that's one of my personal goals. Is I want to do $1 million of art this year.
I'm bullish on it happening, man. No doubt. I'm an art snob, so I love it. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. I showed it to my brother. He was like, dang, that was sick. I was like, I think he just learned how to do it not that long ago.
Dude, that piece was cool because like it took 7 months to do it. And I mean, I had the time because the house wasn't ready and the whole thing, but like I was telling him the story, like how many times like I almost threw it out in my backyard because I'd had that day or this or that or the other. And it was a really, it's an emotional process, right? And I think this is something really powerful for guys to understand is like when you think art, it's feminine. It's like, it's gay, whatever. And it's like, why? Again, story. Why do you think that? Why, if I took the most hard ass blue collar plumber, right? Big, burly, man's man. And I'm like, yo, go do art and you'll make $2 million a year, he would go do it. So that's kind of that mindset of like, well, you can't see yourself doing it. You think it's gay, you think it's whatever, but if you're making 50 grand a year now being a plumber and you can make 2 million a year being an artist, guess what you would go do? You'd be an artist. And you'd figure it out. You would figure out who you have to become, how you would dress, what you would look like, your antics, the whole thing. And I think that's what's dope is what would it look like if you could consciously do that? Like, what would it look like as a man if you could consciously step into building a new world, building a new reality, building a new identity, building new everything? Because we're labeled, you're the fitness guy. Who do you have to become to be an artist? Or a jewelry maker, leathersmith? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I love it, dude.
That's incredible. I'm going to throw some rapid fire questions at you, and then we'll wrap up. This has been amazing, by the way. Really appreciate this conversation. What's your favorite peptide right now?
I'm really not taking a lot. BPC.
BBC? Yeah, you combine it with TB500?
Yep.
Sweet. Have you tried retatrutide?
Nope.
Nice. It's good.
Good.
Oh, yeah, it's epic. But you don't need it because you're already lean. Yeah. You're already shredded.
The only thing I'm taking right now is going to tell you, I take test, I take B12, I take BPC, NAD, and that's it. I don't take anything
That's awesome. It's a beautiful stack.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're clearly not abusing the test because I could tell right away with guys, but it looks like you just have normal healthy levels.
Dude,
which is
it's
awesome.
weird. My body, I think, is going the opposite way. My test is going up and I'm taking less.
Yeah.
So I only take right now 0.3 twice a week. So basically half an ml once a week.
Holy crap. That's super low. Most guys I talk to are taking at least a full ml, at least. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. Yeah, it's because there's a lot of reasons probably for it, but you're just fully optimized. Your body's able to. Your free testosterone is probably really, really high, which is awesome. That's good. Okay, so if Lions Not Sheep didn't exist and you had to start over tomorrow using only social media, free tools, what would that look like? What would you do?
If Lions Not Sheep didn't exist, I would create a digital product solving some problem and market it to a very specific niche audience, how to solve their problem.
What's your social media strategy look like? Because you have a massive following. I know a lot of people listening are business people, including me. I'm selfishly really curious. What is your strategy? Do you have one, or is it just like spray and pray, baby? Just organic, do whatever I feel like doing?
I run my own shit. I don't have anybody that has the login or the password to my account. I post when I feel called to post. I don't have any agenda. I don't have a time frame. I don't schedule shit out. The only thing that was fairly predictable is my Reels page, which I built that up really fast. And all I did is shared a 60-second or less nugget once a day. So I'd sit down with my videographer. We'd shoot a little nugget, schedule it, post it. That's the only thing that's actually been predictable that I had somebody else helping me with. But my personal social media, I do all of it.
It's awesome. Yeah, same here. I don't have anybody running my stuff. It's a full-time job, but it's awesome though. I can't, every time I've given people even access to it in the past, it's like, you screwed up. Like, stop. Yeah. Like you suck. Only I can be me. Right. Okay. So what's the most impactful text message that you send your boys right now? What does it say?
I love you.
Love it.
Yep.
Book that rewired your brain the most.
Say that again?
What's the book that rewired your brain the most?
As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
I love that one. I like that one, and I like the War of Art. Have you read the War of Art?
Yep.
I figured you like that one. You artist, you. It's awesome. Okay, so your grandson, not your son, your grandson Teddy's 20 years old. What do you hope he says about his grandpa?
Thank you.
For?
That's it. Just thank you. Hopefully I add enough value and live a life of leadership where all he has is just gratitude for me. That's it.
Last one for you. 2026, what are you most excited about?
Fuck. I'm I'm excited about this brotherhood that I'm ready to launch. It's been on my heart and my mind, the Lions Not Sheep Brotherhood. I've had 53,000 people join the Lions Den in the last 10 years. And I think this season that I've been called into with this divorce and with everything else, like some pretty life-changing things, it's been on my heart for a couple of years because I love working with men, and the vision that I have of putting 1 million men around the same table has been on. Once something's in my brain and I know God is like banging it around in there and like keeps pushing it in while I'm trying to push it out, it's something I need to do. So we're getting ready to, we kind of soft launched it a few weeks ago, but we're getting ready to go super hard on launching this brotherhood. And I have one vision. I want to have 1 million men in this brotherhood by the end of the year.
Dude, well, first of all, 53,000 people is incredible. Like, I mean,
no ads. I've never run a single ad. It's all organic.
That's truly amazing. People have no idea how hard that is, but that is truly epic, man. That is awesome.
I appreciate it. I think the timing is right. I think, I had a conversation with a gentleman this morning, and I said, if your pipes burst, your lawyer doesn't mean jack shit, right? You need a plumber.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're wanting to learn how to go out and protect yourself with a gun, tactical shooting, the $10 million a year CEO doesn't have any value. So my entire thesis with this is understanding that every single man brings value. Every man brings value. And it doesn't matter how much money you're making, because at the end of it, like a $70,000 a year firefighter is far more valuable to me when my house is on fire than a $100 million a year founder and CEO of a tech company.
Facts. Yep.
So
no, I love that.
The whole brotherhood thesis is take all the labels, take all the shit, take your money, take everything and put it to the side, and just be a fucking man and come to the table. Because I know, and have been around long enough, and you know the same thing. You put 500 men in a room and just close the door with no agenda, we're going to solve problems.
Big time. Yep.
Take 500 men, put them in a room, shut the door, no agenda, no nothing. 2 hours there, we will fucking solve big problems. We will have an absolutely life-altering experience. That's what I'm building.
Yeah, and people don't realize the value of that too. I mean, that's the only true way to solve the issues you have. Get around other dudes who are willing to listen, willing to share ideas, and problems will be solved just about instantly.
All day long. And that's where, for me, I want to strip away all of the labels. This isn't a coaching group. It's not a mastermind. It's $27 a month to join. Blue collar, white collar, everybody alike. But I am crystal clear that we can really dent the universe and really help our kids and really change the energy and what's going on in this country. If we can put a couple million, my goal is by December 31st, 1 million men in this brotherhood by the end of the year.
Awesome. All right, man. Dude, your time is super valuable. I appreciate you using some of it for me. Thank you so much, big dog. Yeah, likewise.